among the stories that are special to me about Covenant Seminary would be one that came from an exit interview with a student who was asked to tell what experiences crystallized or like a prism reflected many of the dimensions of what they learned here. And they referred to an exchange which took place in between a change of classes. They were in a class where Dr. Calhoun was finishing his lectures on church history and was facing, as many know, his own battle with cancer. The next lecturer was Jerem Bars, who was having incredible difficulty facing Meniere's disease and incredible ear pain and headaches from the intensity of sound. He's seated in the class, and as Dr. Calhoun and Jerem passed, they embraced and cried. They said things to one another the student couldn't hear. And then Dr. Calhoun left, and Jerem went up with tears in his eyes and began the lecture. That so much contains what I think Covenant offers to students. The rigor of the best of orthodoxy, studied in a demanding atmosphere from men whose hearts are evidently broken over following Jesus in the storm of a fallen world and modeling it before students as they love one another and encourage each other to faithfulness in a passing moment from class to class. For the whole education to be contained in that moment told me a lot, both what the student had learned and also what the professors were giving. I don't know what his grades were like, but I was glad he captured that from two men who reflect the Master by their lives very beautifully. That's the story that most contains, for me, the Covenant Seminary experience. I think the kingdom impact of Covenant Seminary can be measured by what I see the men and women who graduate from here, as odd as this may sound, are willing to lose for the King. Someone much smarter than me has defined righteousness as being willing to be disadvantaged in order that the King's purposes would be advantaged, and those least likely to respond to the King advantaged by their service to respond to the King. I think you measure kingdom impact when you see people willing to lose, not just lead. With all due respect to the American emphasis on leadership, when someone is willing to lose reputation, ease, finances, and maybe even life, because the King is worth it, and the people to whom He's called us needing it. That's a measure of kingdom impact. I have met pastors and professors, servants of God abroad, that are marked by a measure of willingness to lose. If I can be frank, the kingdom has a whole lot of people that want to be at the front of the line and lead. I don't see in the kingdom a whole lot of people willing to be at the back of the line and lose. When I see an institution producing that, I get excited. And that's what I've seen. And I hope, because of the power of the Spirit, the primacy of the Word, that that'll continue. That's how I've seen the kingdom impacted by Covenant Seminary.